Hey guys, thanks for joining me this week on For All Things Lexington. It's the only show dedicated to Lexington, South Carolina. Here, you'll hear me talk to people, groups, bands, and organizations about where to go, what to do, and who's who in and all around our beautiful Lake Murray. I'm your host, Angela Barrett, and this is For All Things Lexington. Hey guys, thanks for being with me today. I have Daniela Savone, Italian girl with a wooden spoon. Italian gal, that's right. She's a chef, a food editor and writer, recipe developer, and taster, as well as a chef brand ambassador. Thanks for being here.
Thank you.
Yeah, I was excited. I'll have to tell a story. So, last time I was here doing recordings, you happened to walk by, and I was like, wait, I follow her on Facebook. I've been trying to call her. So that was luck for me. Again, thanks for being here. So now you grew up in right outside of New York City, but in a very much Italian family.
Yes.
All right?
Yes.
And so tell me just a little bit about that, the kind of how your Italianness came to be.
So I'm a first generation Italian American. Both my parents were born in Italy. They came to New York in like late 70s.
Uh-huh.
And my dad started in his own business, an Italian deli catering business and gourmet market. My mom was a hairstylist. She worked from home. And so I've always been around food. Food has always been the center of our home. And I grew up working in my dad's deli.
Oh.
So everything that I know now, I learned from my dad.
Yeah, that is neat. So, probably not just your home, but, anybody Italian that I've ever known, I mean, food and family sort of go hand in hand. It's sort of a center.
Yes. Yeah.
Now, so you always will work around food, but when did you know you love food and this is what you wanted to do forever?
So, okay. My grandmother, my dad's mom, my Nonna, she lived with us.
Uh-huh.
And she helped raise my sisters and I while my parents worked. And she was always in the kitchen, 24/7 in the kitchen, cooking everything from scratch. And so I used to spend a lot of time right by her side, kneeled up on the chair at the kitchen table, just watching her in awe. And I guess it all started then when I was a child. I used to play like make-believe school where I'd line up dolls and read to them. And I also used to play make-believe like cooking show. I literally just put on my own cooking show and, mix things together. And I'd just be staring at the wall, pretending there was an audience.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. I always had a love for cooking since I was little and a love for teaching since I was little. And I went to school, got my master's, and became a teacher. So I taught for 15 years.
Now, what did you teach?
English as a second language. Mm-hmm. So I taught, the majority of my students were Spanish speaking. So I taught English as a second language, kindergarten through 12th grade. And I did also teach Italian cooking to adults in my district's continuing ed program at night.
Yeah.
And when my grandmother passed away, that's when I had this just burning inside me to cook. And I just cooked. I cooked basically to help me grieve the loss of my grandmother. And I just wanted to be around food and cooking and in the kitchen all the time. At this point, I had taught for well over 15 years, and I spent. And I just, at that point, I knew that this is something that I wanted to do and pursue and chase. And that meant giving up teaching and my career and, going for years of getting my master's and the school. But it's it was in me from
from the beginning.
Yeah.
Yeah. So now, how did Italian gal with a wooden spoon come to be? I mean, how did you come up with that?
So, fast forward a few years, I moved here to South Carolina.
Did you just throw a dart, or was there a reason? I have to, being in real estate in my real world, I have to always ask that. I'm like, just throw a dart? How did you get here?
All right, let me go back to after my grandmother died, and I started cooking. I had written a cookbook, just a small little paperback cookbook that was Xeroxed in my school district and sold throughout the community. And it raised a lot of money, which I donated to my district scholarship fund. And then I wrote another one, and I continued to teach cooking at night, and I wanted to do something more with that. And a casting producer for MasterChef on Fox reached out to me and asked me to come and audition. And so I did, because I was definitely not going to miss out on that opportunity. And so I went out to LA to audition for MasterChef. Well, I had already auditioned in Nashville and then went to the next phase of the casting process and went out to LA. And after 2 weeks, I was sent home from the show, came back to New York, and I had given up teaching, resigned from teaching at that point. And I didn't want to go back to teaching. I wanted to pursue cooking. Now, I'm not culinary trained, and there's a lot of competition as far as Italian chefs in New York, especially around where I am, around outside the city. So I wanted a fresh start, and I wanted to go somewhere south, somewhere that I knew lacked good Italian food. And I just basically, I got in a plane, came down to Myrtle Beach, rented a car, and drove around, and I came across Columbia, Lake Murray, and I loved it. I liked it.
Oh, well, we're glad to hear.
Yeah. Came back again, stayed for a week, and just decided to get an apartment and start here.
Yeah. So, well, again, we're really glad you're here. The name, the Italian gal with wooden spoon, fit that in.
So, wooden spoon is what all Italian, nonnas cook with. A big wooden spoon. It's what we use to stir our tomato sauce, right? And it's also known as the weapon of mass destruction, because when you were bad as a kid, your mom or grandma would pick up the wooden spoon and you would run, right? You knew you were in trouble at that point. So I actually when I moved down here a few months later, I became an executive chef at a restaurant on Main Street, downtown Columbia. And shortly after that, I had COVID hit, and I was home like everybody else, with a lot of free time on my hands, and I was cooking a lot. And
I thought I was going to sneeze, so
I was cooking with my grandmother's wooden spoon.
Aw.
So I packed a few for things, her apron, her pasta machine, and brought them with me. And I started giving out food to friends and neighbors and around my apartment complex and people I knew. And, everyone was like, you should start selling your food. I was like, oh, okay. So I did. And I'm an Italian girl, and I cook with my wooden spoon. Yeah, just stuck, and it grew from there.
I like it. So now tell me what your menu is. Obviously, it's Italian food, but tell me the menu, or where we'd find your menu.
So my menu consists of mainly Italian dishes, Italian American dishes, things that I grew up with. A lot of the dishes are things that my dad carried in the deli and offered at the deli, that I learned to make all those years. A lot of home recipes from my Nonna, adapted from my grandmother or my mom, and a lot recipes also inspired from Italy. We have a house and a lot of family in Italy. So we, as a family, we travel there all the time.
Nice.
So I've spent many summers, all my life in Italy, and everyone is an amazing cook in my family in Italy. So a lot of my dishes are inspired from them as well. Everything I make is homemade. Everything is made from scratch. And it's basically all my food. There's a story behind a dish.
Right. So right now, you do not have like a brick and mortar. So a lot of this is done out of your home, or you go into someone else's home and cook for them in their kitchen.
Yeah,
right.
Correct.
And, but now I understand that there is a possibility, well, a little birdie told me anyway, that there may be a new kitchen studio and market going in Irmo, which would give you your brick and mortar.
Yes.
That's totally correct.
That little birdie.
So tell me about that.
So this has been a dream of mine since I started this journey. And then when I moved here, I've worked for many other people in the industry. I've bounced around to, different restaurants and places, and I've always wanted my own place.
Sure.
And I actually told myself when I moved here, I'm going to give myself 5 years, make it happen. And it's 5 years. And you're right. I am opening a kitchen studio where a lot of my catering will be done out of. I will be hosting cooking classes. And a portion of that will be a market too, where you can come in and pick up prepared meals, to-go meals. I'll be carrying a lot of imported goods and goodies and
I'm excited. That is exciting. Now, you also have a cookbook that's getting ready to be published.
a lot going on. I do. So another thing, during COVID, while I was home a lot and cooking, I started writing recipes. I was reaching out to a lot of editors, food publications, and I got quite a few partnerships, and I became a contributing writer to different food publications. And I was just, writing recipes, and a lot of, my recipes have stories to them, home cooking stories. So I have been working it is a lot of work, and it has been a long process. 3 years now I've been working on this cookbook because it's like over 80 recipes, and it's a memoir too. So it's basically my entire journey.
So the recipes go along with some of these stories that you're talking about. Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
Oh, that's going to be neat. Yeah, can't wait. And so when do you think that will come out?
So my editor and the person who I've been working with, she's like, could we get it done by 2024? I'm like, sure, absolutely. It's just finding the time to sit down and,
you're probably to the tedious part.
Yeah, exactly. And, it's a lot of rewriting and drafting and then testing the recipes, and you need time to write a cookbook. And I'm just so busy catering and doing ready-to-go meals. And so it's finding an equal balance of doing both. But my goal is to have it published by 2024 in time for the holidays so that people can purchase.
Yeah. Now, what about the kitchen and the studio and the market? When did you say that would be open?
I mean, we've started construction, and with opening a food business, it's a lot of bumps along the road. So I'm hoping and praying by summertime, as long as everything goes smoothly. So we don't really have a projected date just yet, but possibly summertime frame time. Yeah, time frame.
And exactly where? Give me a general idea of either.
It's so it's on St. Andrews Road, in the old skating rink. There's American Floral is there, and Poorhouse Furnishings is there right now. It's right by Advanced Auto Parts and Sunming, in front of the Kroger shopping.
Oh, okay. Now I'm with. There you go. Now you can tell where I've been over there.
So what is your most, what's your specialty? What's the thing, I guess, it's the most requested that you make?
My homemade potato gnocchi.
Potato what? Gnocchi? What is that?
It's spelled as GNOCCHI. It's pronounced gnocchi.
Right. All right.
And it's a potato dough, pasta dough. And they're like fluffy little pillows of potato dough, and they just melt in your mouth. And
Do you put salsa?
yeah, I make a fresh from scratch tomato sauce, and I add a lot of grated imported Pecorino Romano cheese and Parmigiano Reggiano cheese. And it's my grandmother's recipe.
Nice. It's definitely need to try those.
Yeah, I hold that recipe near and dear to my heart because that's one of my fondest memories of being in the kitchen with her, is when she would allow me to roll each individual meal.
Right.
Yeah, as a child.
Yeah. So, you said that you had done, you were a brand ambassador. So tell me a little bit more about that. What do you mean by brand ambassador?
So a chef brand ambassador basically is you partner up with a food brand and you use their products to promote their products, and you create recipes and you post content.
So you're an influencer for food?
And basically,
I love it. Didn't know there was such a thing, but I love it.
yeah. Yeah, and I've worked with quite a few different major Italian food brands that it's a lot of fun. You know, you cook, you use they send you a lot of free stuff, and you take pictures of your food and post and share the story behind the recipe and, you know, what's in it, the ingredients, and yeah, that's basically what it is.
Yeah, well, I'm glad I asked because I was like, ambassador.
Yeah,
and I'm not a weird. I like that better than influencer, but at least it gives me an idea of what exactly it is. But yes, that's pretty cool. Now, how was it to actually work with Gordon Ramsay? Is he as big as he gets on TV?
It's that's the number one question I always get,
because I don't know that I could.
He's actually not at all like that in real life.
Yeah, I would think
he's very sweet, calm, gentleman. He just, you know, it's all for ratings.
It's a show. Yeah, that's right. Good.
You know, he has to put on a certain act. And you learn a lot when you go on a reality TV show. Oh, I bet a lot of behind the scenes things that you have, you know, never been. It's an eye opener for sure. The people that they cast, how much the producers, you know, are basically driving the show.
Oh yeah.
And it's all, especially when it's on a major network television show, it's all for ratings. So.
Oh yes. And you know, we've said for a long time, and I know you can't comment because you signed papers that you couldn't, but
it's 3. I was a 3-year contract.
Okay.
I'm good now.
Okay.
To talk about. Okay, if I want.
We can talk gossip now. But you know, we've always said, or I've always said, you know, these people who thrive on these reality TV shows, I'm like, well, you're not understanding. This is scripted out, just like any other show. It's led you to believe, that it is actual happening.
Oh, yeah.
It's all scripted.
It is, and I mean, a lot of the people that they cast. I mean, I was around some characters. Those 2 weeks, boy. And yeah, they want to hit a certain, you know, mold of America's idea of what, you know. I was in the Italian group, so there were 4 of us.
Sure.
4 home cooks. And not one of them was really Italian first generation like I was.
Right.
Not one of them spoke Italian. I mean, the girl next to me, she was, I'm pretty sure she would have been on other reality TV shows as well. So she definitely was what they wanted in front of the camera. She had that snooky look from the Jersey Shore.
Oh, wow.
And I wasn't going to change who I was or my look or anything.
Right.
Sure.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad to know that he is not as big of a honey bottom as he seems.
No, not he's not.
That's good to know.
Yeah.
Good to know. Because, that's one of those reality shows. Yes, it's scripted and they know who's going to win before,
Oh, yeah.
long before it ever aired. Or anyway,
The person who won that season, it was between him and I were the only ones that were brought back into, it was like the last casting that they had in Nashville.
Oh.
And they, after everything, they told me to stick around, and then they brought us back in for more questions and stuff. And I was with me and the winner of the actual season.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah. And he was also a teacher too. No.
Well, good. What? They ain't a real cook.
Oh, yeah. He's
Not a cast.
and he's actually doing that.
Oh, good.
Pursuing his.
Well, just that part. Yeah, that part's true. Because, on a cooking show, you've seen him in different ones, at least, always in same character. And you start to wonder, is that really his?
Yes. I mean, no, there were a lot on there that were literally just there to be on reality TV. They weren't actually.
Sure. Yeah. So now, how do we get in touch with you? I want you to, and are you still going to go to other people's houses when you open your brick and mortar, or no?
And now I'm going to, the cooking classes and any type of events will be in the studio. Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So, how do people get in touch with you right now? Where
So my business is primarily on Facebook. Italian Gal with a Wizard.
where I was stalking you at? What do you want? Why?
Italian Gal with a Wooden Spoon. They can message me there, and follow my weekly to-go meals there that I'm offering, and specials, and that's the best way to get in touch with me.
Oh, well, I'm excited about the cookbook, and I'm super excited about the new kitchen studio and market. That'll be really nice. And I know that some of your people that you give or get good your to-go food to each week may be a little disappointed if they're now having to drive to Irmo to get it, but they'll have to get over it. Yeah. Sorry. Right. That's right. Well, thank you so much for being on here.
Thank
and
you so much for having.
I'm excited about what all is to come.
Me too. Thank you.
Hey guys, thanks for hanging out with me today, and I hope you enjoyed the show. If you'd like to be a guest on the show or know someone you'd like to see on the show, contact me at forallthingslexington.com. That's the number 4, allthingslexington.com.
For All Things Lexington has been brought to you by chef and food writer, Italian Gal with a Spoon. And by Angela Barrett at HomeMattersSC.com. Building on what matters to you.